Hi, I'm Derek, and on today's episode of Air Capital Hot Rods Garage, we're going to prime the oiling system on an LS engine. Alright folks, here's our 6-liter engine. Just got in here. I tore this engine down, didn't completely disassemble it, but tore it down enough that all the oil got drained out of it. I installed a new camshaft, new head gaskets, new valve springs, new valve seals, front and rear main seal, new oil pump, new pickup tube, and a new oil pan, which if you wanted to see the debacle with the oil pans, putting it into a Chevelle, you can click the link and see our progress on that. So, LS engine doesn't have a distributor like a small block Chevy that drives the oil pump. So you can't, pop out the distributor, then put a tool down there and spin the oil pump to prime it. So what do? The oil pump in an LS engine is driven off the crankshaft. Well, that doesn't work very well. But if you look down here, so the oil pump is right behind here. If you look down here, there's this plug, and that goes right into the oil galley and will feed oil everywhere. So how do you get oil in there? Well, that's what I made this little gadget for. So this little gadget here, I'm going to fill it up with oil. So this is a union here, so I can take the top of it off. Fill it up with oil. I'm going to put about 2-3 quarts in it. And then I can put some air on there. And that air will push down on the oil. And then that oil is going to through this tube. And that tube is going to be threaded into this plug and feed oil in there. And if we feed enough oil, hopefully we'll see it come out of the push rods once I pop off covers. So this step, I'm ready to put everything back together on this. Got the engine in its final resting place. But I want to do this before I put on the accessories and really start putting everything together. Because as you just add more stuff and more stuff, there's more stuff that gets in the way. So this is the opportune time to take care of this. So we're going to go ahead and try this. Hopefully I don't get covered with oil. On the design of this is pretty much black pipe, a 1/4-inch valve, a just air fitting, union, and then this is 3-inch PVC pipe. And then I transitioned to 1/2-inch pipe, and then to 3/8, then to 1/4-inch. Maybe this is a 3/8-inch valve. I can't remember. And then down at the bottom here goes to hose barb. And then you have to get this adapter. This is M16, I believe, by 1. I'm also going to reuse this for my oil pressure sending unit to my aftermarket gauge on the back of the block. So I just had this from the other day. And then to hose barb, so this hose barb will go right in there. So pretty simple. This pipe, not rated for pressure. It says it right on it somewhere. So we're not going to use a whole lot of pressure. Basically, I have my regulator on my air compressor set for about 6 psi. So there's going to be 6 psi pushing down on that. And hopefully that's going to be enough to push the oil through and everywhere. We might have to bump it up a little bit, but I'm not going to bump it up much above 10 pounds, hopefully, if I don't have to. I'm thinking at 6 pounds it's going to work. It might be a little slow, but this pipe, not rated for pressure. I don't want to put pressure on it, but again, it's not very much. Worst case scenario, I think, is I get covered in oil. And then I also have this zip tied to my cart here so that I don't end up dumping oil everywhere. It seems like a mess if it's loose. And like I said, I just remove this union right here to fill it up. So I'm going to install this fitting, fill it with oil, and then we'll get going. All right, as you saw, got the line there into the engine block. Over to here. Going to go ahead and close this valve. Maybe rotate that just a bit. Whoop, close it. Now I can fill it. I can fill it with SuperTech high mileage full synthetic. You know, I've never used SuperTech. I usually use Mobil 1. But I was in at Walmart getting something and saw this, and you know, this is full synthetic, it says, and compared to other brands, off brands for non-synthetic, this is like the same price. So I'm gonna fill it up with this, and I'll just kind of use it for a short time, and then shortly after getting it running and everything, getting it up to temperature, whatever, change it out and then use Mobil 1 like I normally do. But I didn't want to spend extra 10, 12 bucks or whatever for Mobil 1 just to dump it out shortly after. So not that I think that there's really shouldn't be a whole lot of crap in there, and I think this might actually be decent oil, but I've never had a problem with Mobil 1, so why jinx it? So gonna pour this in. I'm gonna put in about 2.5 quarts, and then hopefully that'll be enough. I'm not going to do that one-handed. I don't want to make a mess if I can help it. Oil is going in, I think. All right, I'm going to go increase the pressure just a little bit. All right, I increased the pressure on the regulator just a bit. So we'll close this. I don't see anything. Oh. Live action, folks. Look at that. See, that's air coming out. Air and oil. Oh, folks, it is working. That was a little slow and boring, but it definitely worked. But as you can see here, we've just about got all that oil out. I actually did go ahead and run all 5 quarts out of my jug through this contraption. I'll let it kind of bubble and burp and stuff for a bit just to clean most of that oil out. So, but yeah, this works. I don't know if there's a oil primer that's commercially available. I've never heard of one, but I didn't do much research either. But this worked. All the little pieces and parts, they add up pretty quick, so I ended up spending about 70 bucks on all this junk. But you know, I can use it for this again, or I can use the you know, pipe fittings and stuff for something else sometime. You know, I have some around, so no big loss. So yeah, as you can see, everything's gonna be primed. All right, now that I have that all primed, that'll allow me to do a couple other things. So while I was working on the engine, I tore one of the valve cover gaskets. So I got new valve cover gaskets. Normally, you don't have to replace these, but when they tear, you do. Also comes with the grommets for the bolts for the valve covers. So I'm going to put those in. The intake manifold is just sitting on there right now. So I'm going to pull that off and install my little metric adapter to 1/8 inch NPT, and then I have NPT to 1/8 inch compression fitting, and then I could hook that up to my little 1/8 inch hose that goes to my mechanical gauge for oil pressure. So that's going to be on the back of the engine back there. So then I can put the intake manifold on for good and really start buttoning stuff up. Now that I don't need to get to that port down there, I can go ahead and put on the accessories and just really, this step was in my way. Otherwise, we're just going to keep plugging away here. So, subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get notified when the next videos come up, and we'll make some more progress. Thanks for watching Air Capital Hot Rods Garage.